Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Tempus AI. This was a stock analysis request from one of the followers, and I just wanted to remind you that anyone can make these requests and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. Now, in the case of this chart, we are unfortunately dealing with a diagonal structure that is developing, and within it we actually have two interpretations of the diagonal structure. And firstly is the idea that, okay, this is a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, then this is an A wave up, a B wave down, then a C wave to follow and complete the larger third wave. Then there is the interpretation that instead of having the wave 1 top here, this was the A wave, this was a wave B, and then a C wave up, and instead here we would have the wave 1 up, and we will use the yellow interpretation for that scenario. Now, in both of these, we are still looking for continuation to the upside. This is the uptrend interpretation, and we will use the blue scenario to be tracking this idea, and we will focus on a possible impulse that could be overall forming within this blue interpretation, where this was a wave 1 up, we have here a wave 2 down, and then the third wave to the upside could be developing. Now, here we have different targets for the overall third wave, the large third wave, and within the white scenario, that would be at around $167, where we would really only need a 5-wave move to develop to fulfill this pattern. And in the yellow scenario, we would instead be looking at the $244 level for the ideal target for the third wave, and in this scenario we would be looking to form an ABC pattern to actually fulfill the pattern. Now, in both cases we could develop the movement in very many different ways, and that is the most unfortunate part about the diagonal structure that we are developing in this case, because we cannot really know for sure the clear invalidation levels, because there are so many ways to consider this movement developing. And since the A wave, for example, could be either a 5-wave move or a 3-wave move, I could really see this being an ABC pattern within the A wave that develops, and then we could go for a wave B, whereas we could also develop a much larger A wave, for example, where this is the wave 1, a wave 2, a third wave up, a fourth wave down, and then the fifth wave, and then this could be the A wave. We could be looking still for a wave B and then a C to push even higher. And overall, you see how it is difficult to foresee the structure that it is developing in, and it is why it requires such close attention to the structure that is developing. Now, I am comfortable with considering this either as a wave 1 or a wave A in different scenarios, and then from this bottom we can even assume that this could be an additional wave 1 complete, and in that case we can add a smaller count in this area that could be within this third wave to the upside. It would be really the only way this third wave could play out. It does need to be a 5-wave move, and it does need to be an impulse, but it would then have to hold the support level for a wave 2 in this case in the area between the $74 level down to the $60 level at the 78.6% retracement. Now, it is not even guaranteed that this is how the wave 1 actually completes. It could still extend. I find it most likely that it is still part of the wave 1, but it is really a possibility that the wave 1 top there and we could already be overall within the third wave. Not my preferred interpretation, to be honest, especially due to the structure that developed here since this low, and it looks a lot more like either part of a diagonal structure that formed here in wave 1 or a diagonal structure that is overall forming in the 5th wave to the upside. And for direct continuation to the upside in this area, I would expect so the idea that this wave 1 has not bottomed and it could continue, I would expect to hold at least the $80 level at the 78.6% retracement for the idea of this being an ABC pattern within the third wave, and then we get another fourth and then a fifth wave to the upside and then complete this wave 1. But at that point it might even extend too much, where I prefer that this wave 1 actually topped here and we are now in the wave 2. It would be better overall for the chart for that to be the case, but again, it is no guarantee that it is how it will play out. And then we also have, unfortunately, the scenario that I mentioned earlier, where this is just an A wave up and we would be looking for a B wave down, because in this case we could fall much below the support zone that we have here for a wave 2 and still manage to find support lower, which is not necessarily bad, but it's unclear whether we should expect, how much we should expect really this support zone to provide, how much support this support zone would provide, and if it would actually fail. But nothing really we can do about that, and in that case for a wave B I would be prepared for a deeper retracement in the area between the $64 level down to the $44 level. Now, depending on your trading strategy, on your risk assessment and your preferences, you may choose different support zones to enter. This one in the middle in blue is a decent support area and has a decent chance of creating continuation to the upside, but it's not guaranteed to hold, and that is your choice to make if you choose to use it or not. Overall, I prefer to be looking for support zones, at least, and not enter randomly at areas that look like they might have continuation to the upside. And that is why I am trying to provide this service and to provide these support zones as potential entry opportunities. And this is what we are focusing on, the levels, not the counts. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.